In the second game of our senior season, we are facing off against Cleveland Heights, most notably known for having Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce both attend their high school. But now they have a true prospect coming in at 7 foot 300 pounds at halfback, and right there we are showing why we are going to be the best halfback in the nation. We run for roughly a 70-yard touchdown with their entire team chasing us. They make a last-ditch effort, and man, the breakaway speed from such a huge man is intimidating. Flipping onto the defense side of the ball, we've had some struggles starting the season, something we're new to. We're new playing cornerback. Coach said we have to do it, so we're going to try, but our defensive line really gets after it and makes it hard for him to throw against us. 1st and 10 right here, and we just follow the blocks and pick up an easy 10 yards. I really do like when coach has the motion over, because the more blockers, the better. The less guys I have to try to spin out at 400 pounds, the easier it's going to be to run later in the season. And a quick handoff right here on a 2nd and 3, and probably the worst run of our career thus far, especially in our senior season. Try to do a little hurdle there for some reason, but we pick up 7. At this point, it seems pretty usual for us to just pick up 7 or 8 yards on pretty much every carry. Again, we're going to have a motion with an extra blocker. And man, we spin them out of their shoes and rush in for a 9-yard touchdown, something you don't see a lot from a man of this size. Playing quarterback and really out coveraged right there, but we make up for it on this play by making this read option really easy, and they don't pick up anything. So on a 2nd and 8, we absolutely bulldoze a safety, which is no surprise for being a 400-pound high schooler. 1st and 10 here, and we just keep pounding the rock. We don't pass the ball much, which is good for us, because the more carriers, the merry. The power O is also one of my favorite things we do. Another truck, and it does not look like we're going to be tackled by anybody except a grown man at this point. A wildcat option for me, and you know what an option means. It means I'm keeping it. Now this play, I have to give all credit to the Centerville High School kids right now. They're blocking their lives off for me. A quick cut, and we're in for 6 on a 2nd and 1 from that distance. 19 yards, that's insane. All props to the blockers. Cleveland Heights running back Nick Ward tries to do his best ENags impression, and it does not work well for him. But we do get cooked here, looking like Trayvon Diggs on the Dallas Cowboys right now. Just really misplayed my coverage, but that's something we're trying to do. We're trying to be a little more aggressive and almost make a tackle there, but we end up hitting the offensive lineman instead. Our coverage has been pretty good. I feel like we lead to a large number of coverage sacks for our defensive line. On a 4th and 18 to run down the first half, they actually go for it. I thought they would take their 3, but we obviously play a little off and get a tackle, so that was really good for us. With 44 seconds left, we're actually going to air the ball out, which is something we don't really do often, and we actually catch the ball, which was something we had struggles with in our first game of the season. Another drop back pass, and we're really showing that we might actually be a weapon, but Merca actually ends up throwing it up and throws an interception with 31 seconds left in the first half, which really isn't a big deal. We're just going to end off the first half with a huge tackle, so it looks like so far this might be one of our better games coming out as cornerback in our high school season. A QB keeper with 14 seconds, and we make a play all the way around the field and trying to make a tackle there. The first possession coming out of the second half, and it's a 3rd and 13. They're going to chuck it up, and we should have had an interception there, but we just get a swat, and we're a little upset with ourselves. We're hearing it from the crowd saying, you're too big to be back there, but you know, we answer that with a nice run of 14 yards. After a nice pickup and the crowd is still angry, we have a nice solid run of 8 and try to lower our shoulder into the safety. It was at this point in the game that there were a lot of Cleveland Heights parents questioning where our ID was. How old are we? Check his birth certificate. But that doesn't matter when you're 400 pounds. You just rush into the end zone and do what you can control. Going back to the defense side of the ball, a 2nd and 10 right here, and we look like we're in, and we end up making a tackle on a screenplay there. We're starting to round into our own at cornerback. Cleveland Heights with a really good play here. They kind of stonewall me for only a gain of 3. On a 3rd and 8, our coach shows his trust in me and runs it. We try to spin move to take it to the house, but probably not the best move. Should have either tried to run over him or do something else. But on the 1st and 10, the next play, we pick up 13. As time's winding down in the 3rd quarter, it looks like coach just kind of wants to run the clock out, and I cannot be stopped. No matter what they do, we keep chugging along and running it first. On a 2nd and 3 here, they actually stop me for 0, which is something that you really don't see often from the largest running back in history almost. A 2nd and 6 here, we've got a power O, and this is one of the crazier plays I think I've had. We have a nice little cut at the 5-yard line, and we're tackled in the end zone for a 13-yard touchdown. At this point, we're not only going for the Ohio record for touchdowns in a season, we're going for the national records for touchdowns in a season. While playing the cornerback position, it seems like Cleveland Heights is really trying to avoid me. They're throwing it a lot to the other side of the field, even though we are playing off in order to try to bait some throws, try to get some more action on our side of the field, and it's just not happening. We decide to take matters in our own hand and rush the passer, and we actually swat it, which is pretty interesting. Really was hoping we could get the sack there, but, you know, with the full-out pressure of 400 pounds bearing down on you, things happen. On a 2nd and 10 here, it looks like they try to target me, but it's just thrown out of bounds because I don't think they actually want to test me. 3rd and 10 the next play, they hit a throw underneath, but he ends up picking it up, and we miss the tackle. Dad in the stands is not too happy with that one, and they run another screenplay. We try to make the play, but 73 has a insane block on what's going to be the largest prospect in high school football history. A nice little throw and run here when I actually should have been back in that zone. They pick it apart. With 3 minutes left and a 0 on the scoreboard for Cleveland Heights, they're really just forcing the ball, and I have horrible coverage on a man, and my man gets open down the field. With Cleveland Heights desperate to get some points, I rush the passer, trying to get a sack, but they actually throw a touchdown and end the shutout effectively. With 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, we are just going to try to run the clock out, being up 26 points, but they can't even stop us when they know it's coming, and we just keep chugging along, picking up big gain after big gain. And on this 1st and 10, it actually looks like the police might get called because we just murdered a child. And literally the next play on a 2nd and 5, we have an absolute great blocking and have a great cut. In for another touchdown on the day. I don't even know how many that is at this point. We end the game on a win 39-7, and the play of the game, I think it's the 3rd play from scrimmage. We have a huge run, about 70 yards, break a tackle, and a cloud of dust as their whole team from Cleveland Heights is trying to catch up. It's just not going to happen when you have the legs of this man. He ended up running for 369 yards and 6 touchdowns, while adding 3 tackles from the cornerback position. Ball State has officially offered me a scholarship at running back, which is nice because they are closer to home, so that is definitely going to jump off our leaderboard. And now these schools are interested in us. 2 SEC schools, 1 Big Ten, Tennessee, Missouri, and Iowa. At this point, we know some family in Tennessee. Tennessee is about a 6-hour drive, so we pick the Vols right here. Moving to the cornerback position, Temple, Toledo, and Miami all offer me, and I'll be honest, I don't know where Temple is. So it's either between Toledo and Miami, and we pick Toledo. After our game against Cleveland Heights, we play Medina High School, which is going to be an interesting game. And right here, we actually have our first good return, which I'm a little shocked at. We got good blocks, but we haven't had a good return all year, which is kind of shocking. But we have a 55-yarder, so that's good. This game was super interesting because we came out passing a lot in the first quarter, which I did not love. I mean, obviously, I like when we run the ball, but I just didn't really think that would be good for our winning. We do a nice little run play here, and we actually get stuffed for our first loss of yardage, I think, on the season, which is -3 yards. That was kind of wild. On a 4th and 1 here, instead of taking our points, we decided to go for it on a pass play, which I thought was super weird. And we sit, and I did not think he was going to throw it to me, so we actually turned the ball over on downs, so that's not great. Switching over to the defense side of the ball, on the first play, we actually have a tackle, which is big for us. And again, more of the same when they're just not really going to throw the ball near me at all. We come in here, and we try to make a tackle in the backfield, but we end up making a tackle after a QB keeper. On 3rd and goal, we absolutely get cooked. They score a quick, easy touchdown, and it looks like we're actually going to start running the ball, which is kind of the way that we've had success all season. Run a nice little toss play here, a little weaving in and out, and it looks like we might take it to the house, but only get 22 yards on that one. Here we want a fake fullback dive pitch, which I absolutely loved. Super mad I didn't take it to the house here. Got stood up by the safety. So, hell of a tackle by him, a toss play on 2nd and goal, and you already know we took that in for 6. 3rd and 13 here on the defense side of the ball. They run it, which I was super surprised about. I don't know why they would do that. With 1:20 left, we're going to start pushing the ball down the field. We're going to pass pretty much this entire drive, which is something we have not done, especially with me running the ball as efficiently as we have this season. And it looks like he's just going to throw it to me. We're pounding through their defense, and the people are mad. They're bringing back the chance of let's see his birth certificate. But we don't care. We're standing there, and we get another touchdown, which is no shock to anybody in the nation at this point. Defense comes out. We're just going to get a stop with 24 seconds left. They throw it underneath, and they fumble the football. We get the ball back, which means at least a field goal for us, which is really awesome. And, of course, we're going to pass the ball. And look at the route our man runs. A great touchdown, 21-yard touchdown reception. We don't just run it. We can also catch it. That is going to make the score 21-7 after the first half, which was a little surprising to me. We always try to make some tackles, and every time we do try to make a tackle in the backfield, it looks like it doesn't work. On there, we have some good coverage. They hear footsteps. They don't do anything with it. Coming for a tackle on a 3rd and 14 after a pretty big gain. 1st and 10 here, and we decide we're going to take matters into our own hand, get in the backfield, and sack the quarterback. A really good play for us right now. Might be one of our best defensive games so far as a cornerback. 3rd and 9 here, they're going to look down the field. Throw a little dump off, and we're there to stop him. 4th and 7, they are going to kick the field goal, which was a little shocking to me. They're down 21-10 at this point, and we're going to start running, and looks like we're off to the races starting in the second half. 1st and 10, and a shock to no one. Got another run play, a beautiful cut. And we could have taken it to the outside. We got that spin move, but of course we don't get it. Another 1st and 10 run play here, and the cuts, I mean, the wiggles, it's unmatched, unparalleled in the 1st and goal. Of course, we're just going to pound it right into the end zone. Another 3 and out for Medina, and I was kind of shocked. I really felt like this game was really close in the early moments. And then out of nowhere, kind of floodgates open, and it's 28-10, so that was really interesting, especially when you have such a good prospect. We've got a little block right here, got the motion, and to shock to nobody, man. Another touchdown for your boy. At this point, a 35-10 blowout. We're on the defense side of the ball. I really just want to get a bunch of tackles, bunch of sacks, and then we're going to tackle. I really want to get an interception. That's my goal by the end of the season. We get deked out of our damn shoes right there. That was kind of gross. I'm not going to lie. Give the guy credit. Get a 4th and goal here. Try to clamp up. They've only got 10 points. Want to keep it that way. Get a sack right there, which is big for us, and it looks like we are going to end the game. I am mad. This is a weird thing to bitch about, but that block should have happened. I should have gotten a touchdown, and I didn't, so I'm a little bad. But we end the game 38-10, beating Medina right there. Ended the game with 278 rushing yards, 5 total touchdowns, and 5 tackles and a sack on defense. We were offered scholarships by both Ohio State and Tennessee at halfback, which is really cool. Those are 2 programs that are really jumping off the board to me. West Virginia, BYU, and Arkansas are all interested in me. I decided to stick SEC and go Arkansas there. And at the cornerback position, UC, Purdue, and Pitt are all interested in me. We decided to pick UC to stay close to home. Next episode, we'll have the end of the season.